Have you ever thought you tried everything to heal a physical ailment but didn't get results? Listen in today as we discuss the mind-body connection and how oftentimes you can heal physical issues by solving mental ones.
You're listening to Studio 809 Podcast. This is what community sounds like.
Welcome to the Functional Fitness and Nutrition Podcast with Khronology on Studio 809. I'm Stevie.
And I'm Will.
And we're your co-hosts and experts behind Khronology, Functional Fitness and Nutrition. Khronology is a wellness company focusing on functional health and anti-aging through personal training, nutrition counseling, and a holistic approach to life. You can find us online at chronologyfit.com.
That's Khronology with a K.
All right, so we have a guest today in the studio. Lang, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We have Lang Netzler, and she owns CHA Family Wellness and offers acupressure therapy, craniosacral therapy, reflexology, and somatic trauma release therapy with no needles, no drugs, and she can help clients transform pain, stress, and anxiety to rest and relaxation. Lang, tell us a bit more about this. About you and how you got into this. And
well, it started off so I'm a caretaker for my elderly parents. So I would go and take them to doctor's appointments, 5 years later, doctor's appointments, pills and more pills and the same pills. And so one day I'm like, something is wrong with this picture. There is no improvement, no progress. Something is wrong. But so I'm a believer, so I put that out in prayer. Go, God, give me the direction, show me the way how to help take care of my parents. I'm smart enough. How about teach me? How about train me? And I didn't know what the results would be when I said that. All I know, that was like in my mind, it's like, oh my gosh, I was so frustrated. I just prayed. It's like, either use me or help me find the person who can help my parents. And what did you know? A couple months later at a networking group, I met the director of the touch therapy school. And the school offered all these modalities, including acupressure and somatic trauma therapy. So here I am. It's like, okay, I know acupuncture. I gave a squint eye on acupressure. It's like, I don't know. Let me think about this. So I did. I thought about it for a while, but then I met her again at a different networking. It's like, okay, fine.
that's a sign.
I go, okay, fine. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe I'm supposed to go back. But right here, I already graduated. So I went to school to double major in biotechnology and biochemistry. I was on the medical school track. Life happened. That didn't happen. And now I am in my mid-30s. I'm like, I don't know if I should go back to school, but here's my parents. I don't know how to help them. And it's like, here's my midlife crisis. Do I want to go back to school? Do I have the time? Do I have a family back then? It's like, OMG, what is life about? So I did. I went back to school. So I went to school full-time and go to school at night. Went to work full-time, go to school at night. Went to work full-time, see clients at night. And that was exhausting.
Been there, done that.
So, but then, of course, I use my family members as my guinea pig when I'm practicing for my clinical hours and everything. So one day, my mom called me up. Hey, I need you to make an appointment for a chiropractor for me. I woke up with a kink in my neck. I'm like, okay. And then I heard the voice in the background. My dad goes, hello, make an appointment with your own daughter. Why do you need a chiropractor? And my mom goes, oh, yeah. Can you come see me? So I went to see her, first appointment. Then a second appointment, I went for a follow-up, just like I would do for anybody else. I go to follow-up. So I go, so Mom, how's your neck? And do I need to make that chiropractor's appointment? There she was, washing her dishes, doing her chores. She goes, nah, my neck is okay. And I look over at my dad. She goes, no credit. But besides the no credit, something sparked in me. It's like, first, my initial goal was to help my parents. And then, of course, I learned that in school. They talk about private practice and all that. It's like, can I do this? Because I had a full-time job right then. I was a laboratory technician for the Air Force Academy. It was a 9-to-5 job. I get paid. I have health insurance. So I'm thinking in my head, do I want to risk that? Do I want to open my own private practice? I look at my dad, I look at my mom. It's like, well, if I can help my own family members, maybe I can help with somebody else's family members. So in 2020, I decided I prayed for a referral system where I have consistent clients. Because back then I didn't have to worry about marketing or anything. I only see clients at night. So I had plenty of clients to make it full. 2 made it full. So in order for me to open my own private practice, I need a consistent referral system. I put in the prayer to God again, and he gave me a referral system that gave me enough confidence to quit my day job and open my private practice full time. And so I am offering acupressure and craniosacral therapy and reflexology and somatic trauma therapy to the public.
That's fantastic. So tell us, what is acupressure therapy?
So acupuncture has been known. It is a popular phrase. Everybody knows what it is. It goes, they use needles and put in certain points on the energy meridians of the body. So the body has energy channels that are called meridians, and life force chi flows through those energy meridians. And if there's a certain point that it gets stuck, that's what can cause pain. So acupressure is acupuncture with no needles. It uses soft body pressure, soft fingertip pressure, to stimulate those acupuncture points, the same points. But this way, when I use my finger, I can engage multiple systems at the same time. And so both modalities are great. They just work in different ways. Mine working with the energetic points, with my fingers touching and engaging the multiple systems.
And tell me about the somatic trauma release therapy. I'm very interested to hear about that.
Oh, thank you for asking that. So somatic is a very special term for body. Somatic means body. So somatic trauma means trauma stored inside the body. So right now, for the longest time in the medical community, they believe that the brain holds everything, holds all the memory, holds all the emotion, controls all the movement, controls everything's the CPU of the body. But then there's something called heart surgery. So when a heart recipient has personality changes or memories or dreams of the heart donor, that starts creates so many questions.
Not all in the brain, is it?
Right. It is not all in the brain. It's like, oh my gosh, why? What did it cause? Like all this heart caused memory. So heart memory and heart, there's also studies on that too. So there are stories for the past 50 years of all these heart recipients and other organ recipients having personality changes, having memories of the donor family, and have these circumstances that cannot be explained by science. And so with that idea in mind, the whole entire body, every cell in the body can hold memory. Because you think about it, there's something called muscle memory. There is something called second nature. So it's not all in the brain. So let's go back to the storage idea. So with the somatic trauma, so that's the body part, let's go to the trauma part. So for example, a 5-year-old will be witnessing mom and dad fighting every single day. The poor little 5-year-old does not know how to handle or process that event. What happens to it? It gets stored. It gets unprocessed. So let's shove that in the carpet or shove that in a closet. Let's fast forward to high school. There is social pressure, all this anxiety about being a teenager, about puberty and all that. If that person cannot process it, it gets stored again. That closet or that carpet of unpressed memories, suppressed emotions just keeps on growing. Let's fast forward to adulthood, to whether that person lost a job, have a divorce, or a car accident. How do they process that? If they don't know how, it gets shoved back into that carpet or that closet, and that closet just keeps expanding, and nothing gets hidden forever. It seeps out and manifests as health issues. And then someday when something like the straw that breaks the camel's back, whatever it is, either a small event or a big event, it will bust open that closet or that carpet. And that poor person will think that their life is turned upside down, or they think they don't have a reason to live. And so because of that, that's the trauma part. So somatic trauma is that I go find that closet, I go find those skeletons and help them dissolve it so that it does not manifest as pain.
So does it, is it other health conditions other than just pain that they can manifest as? For example, I had a client once who hadn't slept since she was a child. She can almost remember when she stopped sleeping. And so we did everything nutrition-wise, lifestyle-wise to help with sleep. She saw a sleep doctor. She had a sleep study. Nothing worked. Medication didn't work. Nothing. Finally, I couldn't help her anymore. I told her, I think you have stuck trauma.
That's very intuitive of you. Yes, that is correct.
Well, yes, it's intuitive, but I also knew you and knew what you did. And so I was like, if everything that you have tried that should help with sleep isn't helping you, and you can almost pinpoint when it happened, at what age you were, something probably happened that you've blocked out that is causing you to not be able to sleep.
Yes.
So it's not just pain. It could be other health issues as well that stuck trauma can affect.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because there has been, there are studies in New York, like a kid with a dysfunctional family that triggers asthma. And there are multiple links of dysfunctional family to asthma. So because that person, so in Chinese medicine, lungs is the way you take in life. So if you're taking in life and you're not processing completely, it gets stuck in the lungs. So the lung meridian, therefore, links to asthma. And for what you were saying, sleep. So however it is the person is stored stress, stored that trauma, it can still be in there. One way I use an example is a broken chair. If you leave a broken chair in the corner, it doesn't matter how long time takes, whether it's 50 years, 60 years. If nobody goes and repair that chair,
it's still sitting in the corner broken.
It's still sitting in the corner broken. Yes.
That's a great analogy.
So you have to actively go to that chair and repair it. Time does not heal those type of wounds. Things that are broken, time sometimes does not heal. I know there are certain things that time can heal, but trauma is one of those that does not heal if it's broken. So for this client of yours who has sleep issues, it can be very well be an emotional link, an emotional root, a trauma root that needs to be processed, like that chair needs to have attention to in order for it to be healed.
Wow. So tell us who can benefit from this and what does a typical session look like?
So I can help to infinity. So the age does not matter, really.
So even if you are, say, 55 and something happened when you were a child.
Yes.
Why? Just because that happens to be your age.
Yeah, you look at me.
Will, are you 55?
All right, let's say if you're 70 and you have a problem and you didn't have a great childhood, whatever, you could still benefit. It doesn't matter how much time has passed. You can still, I know a lot of people, they get older and they just think, well, that's it. There can be no more improvement because of my age, and that's not true.
Right. Age is just a number. It's all about the mind. If the mind is willing to go to that corner where the chair is broken, then we have access to heal it. If the mind says, no, we're not going to that room and stay at the door, outside the door, then we don't have access to the trauma to heal it. But it doesn't matter if that person's 99 years old. If they are willing to open that door to go to the chair, to heal it, it can be done.
So a great example of that is I have a couple of clients who are in their 90s, and they don't take life for granted. And even though they're in their 90s, they're not like, well, I'm old, so let me just go watch TV.
No, they're still living.
They come and give a good workout every time.
Oh,
and
that is so
it's
commendable.
just so inspiring to see that, every time.
Yes, that's so commendable. I love seeing people who don't have age as a limit.
Exactly.
Who live their life.
Yep.
Those are like my ideal clients. Those who come in and have like trauma, and but they are like gung-ho in healing.
Let's fix this. I got living to do.
That's right. I have some living to do. I want to live the next 10 years in a great life. And they come in, they're willing to do their exercises, willing to do their mental exercises, willing to do whatever it takes to heal. Love those clients.
Yes.
We do too.
Yep.
So let's say someone comes in to see you. Then what?
Okay, so appointment number 1, of course, there'll be data collection, health history form, see what they came in for, and what is the link. So I'll ask questions now, how that relates to their childhood, how that relates to their upbringing, how that relates to their family members, and so it depends on what it is. It will take me to which part of their life in the past to help them. For example, I'll give you an example. I have a client who comes in with a low back pain. She's been seeing a chiropractor for the past 5 years. But right now her chiropractor was busy, so she was like, oh, you know what? Does acupressure therapy help with low back pain? I go, why, yes, it does. There are 12 points that I can check on. She goes, great. So she laid on my massage table. I check acupressure point number 1. It went textbook. Everything went perfect. Released it. Went to point number 2. She started bawling on the table. So I asked her, what's going on? If you're willing, tell me what got triggered. What happened? She answered, I thought I was over this. I had been in therapy since the day that event started until now. I thought I was over it. So, of course, I tell her there are layers of trauma, and you probably are over it, just that this part was not resolved yet, and it came up. Since it came up, are you willing to go there? She was. So I didn't narrate the session. I changed from acupressure to trauma therapy, find out what happened, helped her unpack it. And then after we did the trauma session, before I went to the acupressure therapy session, I asked her, let's check your low back pain first before I go to point number 3. She got up, twist and turn, and checked her low back. And she goes, oh, my low back is not hurting anymore. That's awesome.
So it works pretty quick.
There are times it does. Mm-hmm. There are times it doesn't.
I guess it depends on how deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Depends on what it is. But appointment number 2, the follow-up, was the rewarding one. Before she even came in, she texted me. She goes, I have to tell you something. I need to talk to you. I go, okay, what is it? She goes, I've been having nightmares about this event. I would dream about going into their house, and I would always so fearful for my life. I would wake up kicking and screaming and sweating, and always so fearful that it would happen again. She goes, but after our last session, I had that dream one more time. This time it was different. This time the house was empty. She says she rocked around the house in her dreams. There was nobody there. And I asked her, were you afraid? She goes, no, I was not. It was relief. So I told her, great, let's end it there. So when she came in for the follow-up, we did a trauma therapy session to seal it and forget about it.
And her brain processed it, and that's why she had that different dream.
Yes, yeah. And now when she talks about it, she's not triggered by fear anymore.
That's great.
Yeah.
You have any other interesting cases that you want to share? Or
oh, there's so many. So it's like there are times when the body is so miraculous that things happen without, I can't take credit for. It's like it's the body's innate healing ability.
We're just facilitators.
Yes, absolutely. So like for quickness, I had a guy who fell off a roof who landed on the right side of his hip, who came in. He had to use the wall for ambulation. He was very dizzy, and he cannot lay on his right-hand side because it was full of pain. So I used pelvic rebalancing and acupressure therapy on him for that session. And at the end, that one was a one appointment as well. He got up. He just stayed there for a moment. And I'm just over here looking at him. It's like, okay, your session is over. How are you feeling? He just got up and walked out the door and then walked back in. It's like, oh, I'm feeling good. I don't need to use the wall anymore. And I asked him, do you want to make a second appointment? He thought about it. He goes, no, I don't need it. It's like, all right then.
That's an example of the quick results.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So because his accident just happened only a couple of weeks before he came in. And so there's not, to my mind, there's not time to have multiple layers.
Right. For that as opposed to, say, childhood trauma.
Yes. So for the one that takes a long one, an example is I had a car accident client who came in, So she came in for a car accident. So, of course, I'm treating the physical and the emotional symptoms of the car accident. But then it turns towards anxiety and stress and depression. So then let's address the depression. Where is that coming from? Because throughout time, her physical symptoms were decreasing. Her stress and anxiety in regards to driving was decreasing. But her stress and anxiety and depression in regards to life was not. So then we addressed that, and it took her back to her childhood. Actually, I had to take her back all the way because I took her back to childhood. That relieved a lot of stress and anxiety and depression, but it wasn't it. It didn't take it to the seed of the depression. So I'm praying. It's like, how do I help this client? Then all of a sudden, there's an aha moment. It's like, I need to take it back further to the womb, to when she was in the womb. So when I did that with her last session. So she's seen me for a year now. We did all these layers, starting from the car accident to now, to life. And so when we did that therapy session, she realized what imprint it was from the environment that had on her. So for her, the body has 2 nervous system response system. Either it feels safe, life is peachy, life is grand, or it doesn't feel safe, fight or flight response system. Mm-hmm. So for this client, whenever she feels not safe, she flee. So because of that, she always wants to exit whatever situation she's in. So when she has all these stress and anxiety and experiencing depression in her life, she just wants to leave this world. She just wants to say, forget it, I am done.
I'm flee.
Yes, I'm okay to die right now. So then we find out when that was imprinted into her mind, took her back to when it started. That started before she was born. And then when I unpacked it with her, she had this aha moment, like, that's why she always wanted to flee. But then that also changed her behavior look on her mom, because throughout her childhood, she had this rebellious attitude towards her mom, because deep inside, she felt like she's not important and not loved by her mom. So she had this rebellious all this time, even until she is 70 years old right now. And so when we did this session, she called me back in 1 week and said, I feel like I need to apologize to my mom. I need to go see my mom again. It's like, okay. Then 2 weeks after the session, she called me. She goes, I bought a ticket. I'm going to go see my mom because I need to apologize for how I act all this time. And like, now I start a new business. I want to leave a legend. I want to be great on this world. And I want to start by giving a hug to my mom.
So her life totally turned around. She was much older.
Yes.
And so she was able to process this, and then all this suffering that she did gone over with, she's enjoying her life.
She released it. Yes.
That's fantastic.
Never too late.
No,
never
it's
too
not.
late. No,
it's not. So I know that you don't take health insurance, but you recently are able to help people who've been in car accidents, correct?
That is correct. Yes, I do not take insurance, but I do not take health insurance, but I do take motor vehicle accident claims, medical liens. I take on medical liens where the client will pay zero out of pocket if they were recently in a car accident.
That's fantastic, because some of those can be pretty traumatic.
Yes, they are. They can turn their life upside down. So
tell our listeners if they're like, well, I don't know if this is for me. How can they kind of figure out if this is something they should, if their issues could be helped by this, or if it's something they should pursue? What would you tell somebody who's on the fence about it?
That's a good question. If they're on the fence, well, there's only one way to find out is they can call me for a free consultation. They can tell me exactly what they're going through, and I can tell them what the modalities might look like for them. I get a consultation like someone called in to have, and they say, well, I have been all through these I have a PCP and I've done this and I've done this. I have an MRI. I'm on this drug. I'm on this. It's like, but.
And I still have XYZ.
Yes, that's correct. But I'm still experiencing this issue. And so the only thing I can say is give me a try because I can't guarantee, because then that would be an unrealistic promise. I can't guarantee that my modality will work.
But it certainly won't harm them to try.
Right.
Can't hurt.
And so another thing I tell them is like, even though it won't.
It's not like a new drug with side effects.
Right.
Right?
Like if that one doesn't work, add this one on top.
Right.
I don't have the 12 pages of side effects.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll cause bleeding in your stomach, intestine.
Your brain will fall out.
Yeah. But the side effects, let's say it doesn't solve XYZ that they came in, but my side effect is you still have some kind of relief and joy in other areas of your life.
And it may not solve it, but it might make it a whole lot better.
Yep.
It does. It gives a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah.
Do you help people with addictions, whether it's food or drugs or alcohol or whatever?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, I do. Because
a lot of times that can be the reason why the person is
Exactly.
having the addictions is because of trauma.
Yeah, it's not
Yes.
because you like to drink a lot or like to do drugs a lot or
You're escaping.
overeat. There's a hidden problem.
there is.
Yeah.
That's very intuitive of you to say that.
Because often if we have a client who has to lose 100 pounds or more, we ask them to get some kind of trauma help while they're working with us
Yes.
because, if you're 20 pounds overweight, you like to eat. If you're 150 pounds overweight, there's probably something else going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have worked with all the above. I have one client who's very overweight, but he has the drive to go get better, but doesn't go take the first step. And
It can
so
be very
but
hard to get started.
It is. And when he does, he said that when he does, he doesn't get the results, so he gives up. And so when he came to me and I prep him first, I prep him and said, I'm non-conventional. I am not a physical trainer where you're going to be like in 1 hour of physical training or a physical therapist to do this. I will work with your mindset and find out where the block is. And we did. We found out that internally, he doesn't believe, he doesn't love himself. He doesn't have that self-confidence. He doesn't have that self-love. Therefore, his mindset stick him to a mode of, why lose weight? If you don't even love yourself, why lose weight? If we don't even look good, what's the purpose of doing that? And so it was quite a journey to find that point. The first time we found that point, he resisted. He said, no, I'm going to stop doing this. And it's like, and he quit for a while. It's like, you need to come back because we need to go over this hump of your internal self-love for you so that you can lose weight and be healthy. And then for the addiction side, I do have other clients and we find out. What I find out as a common denomination of all my clients is normally it's all about the self-love, the unconditional love for the self, the importance. Because once they believe in that seed that they are not important or have no purpose in this world, that belief system will always be the resounding gong in the back of their head that says, oh, you shouldn't do this. Oh, that's a waste of time.
Point?
Yes, it's a waste of time. So, that's usually it's the mindset and the trauma. And it's usually the trauma in their childhood that created that belief system. And so if they were neglected as a child, they will have that belief system to believe that they're not important. Therefore, there's no point of losing weight. There's no point of this or that. And when that depression, that low frequency emotion is 24/7 in their body, it blocks, it shuts down immune system, it shuts down digestive system, it shuts down fertility system. So it gives rise to a whole host of health issues, including sleep, including gut issues, including anything that can happen in the body.
All right. So tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you. And for those that are not in our local area, are you able to do anything virtually?
Oh, thank you for asking that. Yes. So trauma therapy can be done via telehealth. It can be done on FaceTime. It can be done by WhatsApp because it's encrypted. It can be done by Zoom. It can be done through Wi-Fi. And because only acupressure therapy where I need to touch the body,
Yeah.
where they have to come to me.
Yeah, massage is the only one of our services I cannot do virtually.
Right,
You kind of got to be in the same room.
Right? It's just one of those must things.
Yeah.
But yes, they can do telehealth sessions and I am certified and I can practice in 10 different states.
That's great. So how can they get in touch with you?
Oh, the best way is to learn more about me is to go to my website, which is www.chafamilywellness. That is CHAFamilyWellness.com. And my phone number, they can also feel free to text me and say that they heard about me from your radio station, from your podcast station. My phone number is 719-291-7623. They can text me. They can go to my website and do a contact form, and I will get both.
Well, that is great. So, like we said, if you are not getting results with whatever you're doing to treat whatever you've got, this might be something you want to give a try. And, even if you think you don't have trauma, lots of times we block stuff out, you might. I think all of us have something. Everybody's got something that happened at some time in their life that they're dealing with. So thank you, Lang, for coming on and talking to us today about this. It's fascinating.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
That's it for us today, but be sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our website. Send us questions and topics that you'd like to learn about. If you'd like us to help you out, you can shoot us an email at contactus@chronologyfit.com or message us on Facebook on Chronology Fit. We also do things virtually, as I mentioned, so you don't have to be in the Colorado Springs area. And you can check out other great podcasts by visiting studio809radio.com. We hope you have a healthy week and tune in next time to the Functional Fitness and Nutrition Podcast with Khronology.